In the cold, dark waters of the North Pacific, a shadow glides silently across the seafloor. It shifts its shape, dissolves into the landscape, and becomes indistinguishable from the rocks and kelp around it. Then, without warning, it explodes into motion. 8 powerful arms surge forward, wrapping around a passing shark, and the struggle ends almost before it truly begins. This is the giant Pacific octopus, an animal so intelligent it can recognize individual human faces, so adaptable it can compress its enormous body through an opening no wider than an orange, and so devoted as a parent that it will willingly starve itself to death to protect its young. Subscribe now, because what you are about to discover will change the way you see the ocean forever. The giant Pacific octopus represents one of nature's most astonishing experiments in intelligence. It evolved along a path entirely separate from mammals, birds, and reptiles, yet arrived at something we can only describe as awareness. A mind shaped by millions of years beneath the waves, a consciousness that is utterly alien and yet deeply familiar. Today, we journey into the world of this extraordinary creature. From the freezing depths where it makes its home, to the strange and fragmented architecture of its 9 separate brains, we will witness its stealthy hunting strategies, explore its otherworldly biology, and confront the bittersweet reality of its short but remarkable life. This is a story of intelligence, adaptation, and sacrifice. The giant Pacific octopus, known to science as Octopus doflini, inhabits the cold waters of the North Pacific Ocean. Its range stretches from the rocky coastline of California northward through Alaska, across the Bering Sea to Russia's Far East, and down toward the waters surrounding Japan and Korea. It thrives in environments few large animals can tolerate, from shallow tidal zones battered by waves to deep, lightless waters thousands of feet below the surface. When we describe this animal as giant, the term is not an exaggeration. An average adult weighs roughly 33 pounds, with arms that can stretch up to 14 feet from tip to tip. Larger individuals are far more imposing, exceeding 100 pounds, with arm spans greater than 20 feet. And then there are the legends. The largest reliably recorded specimen weighed approximately 600 pounds, with an arm span approaching 30 feet, making it one of the largest invertebrates ever documented. Each of those arms is lined with hundreds of powerful suckers. Some measure more than 2 inches across and can individually support dozens of pounds of force. Multiply that strength across all 8 arms, and the result is a living net capable of overpowering almost anything it touches. But raw power alone does not explain this animal's dominance. To truly understand the giant Pacific octopus, we must look beneath the skin, into a body plan so alien it challenges our definition of complex life. The giant Pacific octopus has 3 hearts. 2 pump blood through the gills, while a third circulates it through the rest of the body. That blood is not red, but a deep, unmistakable blue. The color comes from hemocyanin, a copper-based molecule that carries oxygen. Hemocyanin is less efficient than the iron-based hemoglobin found in mammals. As a result, octopuses are heavily dependent on cold, oxygen-rich water. In warmer environments, their metabolism falters. The cold depths are not a preference. They are a necessity. Yet even this pales in comparison to the most astonishing feature of octopus biology, the nervous system. A giant Pacific octopus does not have 1 brain. It has 9. One central brain sits between the eyes, responsible for decision-making, learning, and sensory integration. Each of the 8 arms contains its own dense cluster of neurons, effectively functioning as a semi-independent brain. These arm brains can process touch, taste, and movement without direct instruction from the central brain. An octopus can manipulate objects with one arm, explore a crevice with another, and adjust its camouflage pattern at the same time. Each arm operates with a degree of autonomy, yet remains coordinated with the whole. Together, these 9 brains contain roughly 300 million neurons, placing the octopus in the same cognitive range as many mammals. The central brain itself is highly structured, with folded lobes associated with memory and learning. Giant Pacific octopuses can remember what they have seen and touched. They learn from experience, recognize patterns, and modify their behavior accordingly. In every meaningful sense, they think. And then there is the skin. The octopus's skin contains millions of chromatophores, tiny pigment-filled cells that expand and contract under neural control. Beneath them lie layers of reflective cells that manipulate brightness and iridescence. The result is a living surface capable of instantaneous transformation, changing not only color, but texture. An octopus can shift from smooth to spiky in the blink of an eye, mimicking rocks, coral, or kelp with precision. Perhaps most astonishing of all, octopuses are believed to be colorblind, yet they match their surroundings flawlessly. Some scientists believe the octopus may perceive light through its skin itself, allowing the entire body to act as a sensory organ. Camouflage in this case is not merely visual, it is embodied. This ability is central to the octopus's role as a predator. The giant Pacific octopus is an apex hunter. Its diet includes shrimp, crabs, clams, scallops, lobsters, fish, squid, and even other octopuses. But one prey item stands out above all others: sharks. In controlled environments, giant Pacific octopuses have been observed catching and killing spiny dogfish sharks several feet in length. These sharks are formidable predators, armed with teeth and defensive spines. Against the octopus's strength, intelligence, and coordination, they are helpless. This behavior is not confined to captivity. In the wild, scientists have discovered shark remains in octopus middens, the piles of shells and bones that accumulate outside dens. The evidence is unmistakable. On rare occasions, octopuses even hunt above the surface. One documented observation shows a giant Pacific octopus seizing a seabird at the water's surface, dragging it underwater, and holding it there until it drowned. This animal does not recognize the boundaries between land and sea. It exploits opportunity wherever it appears. Most hunts occur at night. Under the cover of darkness, the octopus leaves its den and moves slowly across the seafloor. Its body flows like liquid, every movement deliberate. Its skin constantly shifts to match the terrain, rendering it nearly invisible. When prey is detected, the approach begins. The octopus closes the distance inch by inch, waiting for the precise moment. Then, in a burst of motion, all 8 arms spread outward, engulfing the victim completely. Thousands of suckers lock on at once, each equipped with chemoreceptors that allow the octopus to taste as it grips. Escape is almost impossible. Hidden at the center of the arms is the octopus's beak, a sharp structure made of chitin. It is capable of cracking shells and piercing thick skin. The bite delivers venomous saliva that paralyzes prey and breaks down connective tissue, allowing the octopus to feed efficiently. Once subdued, the prey is carried back to the den. The den is the center of an octopus's existence. Giant Pacific octopuses seek out caves, rocky crevices, and spaces beneath boulders. They have also been found occupying discarded human debris, such as bottles, tires, and pipes. The beak is the only rigid structure in the octopus's body. If the beak can fit through an opening, the rest of the animal will follow. An octopus weighing dozens of pounds can compress itself through gaps only inches wide. An individual may occupy the same den for weeks or even months, venturing out to hunt and returning to the same shelter. Over time, a midden accumulates outside, silently recording the octopus's meals. Despite their intelligence and power, giant Pacific octopuses face an unavoidable truth. Their lives are short. Most live only 3 to 5 years. They reproduce once and then they die. When mating season arrives, males seek out females and use a specialized arm to transfer a packet of sperm into the female's body. The female may store this sperm for months before fertilizing her eggs. When the time comes, she lays between 120,000 and 400,000 EGGs, carefully attaching them in long strands to the ceiling of her den. From that moment on, her fate is sealed. For roughly 6 months, she never leaves the eggs. She constantly blows water over them to provide oxygen, cleans them to prevent fungal growth, and defends them from any threat. She does not hunt. She does not eat. Her body slowly consumes itself to sustain her long enough for the eggs to hatch. By the end, she is emaciated and weak, her skin damaged, her movements slow. When the tiny hatchlings finally emerge and drift away into the open ocean, she dies shortly afterward. The male's fate is similar. After mating, he stops feeding, enters a rapid state of decline, and dies within weeks. Of the hundreds of thousands of hatchlings released into the ocean, only a handful will survive. Those that do grow at an extraordinary rate, increasing their body mass by nearly 1% every day. Before we conclude, we must return to the octopus's mind. In aquariums and research facilities, giant Pacific octopuses have demonstrated the ability to recognize individual humans. They remember faces, associate people with experiences, and respond accordingly. Some have been observed deliberately targeting staff members they dislike while remaining calm around others. They solve puzzles, open sealed containers, manipulate tools, and escape enclosures. In documented cases, octopuses have left their tanks at night, crossed the floor to neighboring tanks, fed, and returned before morning. Some researchers have observed what appears to be play behavior, the manipulation of objects with no obvious goal. Play is rare outside of highly intelligent mammals. If octopuses truly play, it forces us to reconsider how intelligence evolves. These are not simple reflex-driven animals. They are aware beings, shaped by memory, curiosity, and experience. The giant Pacific octopus stands as proof that intelligence does not belong to a single lineage. In a life measured in only a few short years, it hunts with precision, solves problems creatively, and sacrifices everything for its offspring. Beneath the waves, in the cold darkness of the deep, minds exist that think in ways we are only beginning to understand. There is something deeply unsettling about the giant Pacific octopus, and it is not its size or its strength. It is the realization that an intelligence so advanced evolved in complete isolation from our own. No shared ancestor with a backbone, no familiar neurological blueprint. And yet, here it is, solving problems, remembering faces, making choices. For millions of years, octopuses have been quietly perfecting a form of intelligence built not around dominance or social hierarchy, but around adaptability. a mind spread across an entire body, a consciousness that thinks with its arms as much as its brain. In a sense, the octopus does not merely inhabit its environment, it negotiates with it. This raises an uncomfortable question. If intelligence can arise in such radically different forms, how limited is our definition of awareness? How many other thinking minds move unseen beneath the surface, unnoticed simply because they do not resemble us? If this journey has captivated you, please like the video and subscribe. Leave a comment and tell us which deep-sea creature we should explore next. Until then, keep exploring the unknown